Okay, we're on. Oh, not a bad, oh, nice fish too.
G'day crew.
So it's just after 4 o'clock. I'm getting away from the Raby Bay ramp. Plan today, first of all, to drop the crab pots. And then I want to be over at the West Peel Artificial Reef to try some fly-fish jigging. Haven't done much good with it in the past, but I do have an urge to try it again. And then I might go for a bit of a troll and see what the day brings after that.
I did drop the pots in the same area that I'd done very well just a little over a month ago. Yes, it has been that long since I was out on the water last. I'll preempt the wait to the end of the video and just say right now, it was a bust. I pulled up some crabs, but there was only one keeper amongst them, and one keeper's not worth keeping, so I threw it back. As I said, the area was productive a little over a month ago, but the crabs have moved on, so now I've got to prospect for them again and find where they've gone.
Ha 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 ha. Oh, I've got a fish on board. He'll be going back, right?
I was too early to get some live bait, but I'd anticipated that and I brought a variety of dead bait with me. I had some pilchards, some squid and some cuttlefish from Mr. Bait to keep me going until the sun was up enough to get some liveys. As it turned out, the fish weren't at all interested in either the squid or the cuttlefish. All they wanted were pilchards. Now, I was counting on using a bit of a variety of baits, and I didn't have enough to fish entirely with pilchards. So what I did was I cut the pilchards in half and baited them a half on each hook, just to try and spin them out, make them last a little bit longer. I baited the head end of the pilchard by putting the hook up through its bottom jaw and out through the bony part of its head. That ensured that it would survive some of the nibblers, at least for a little while. I baited the tail section by pulling the hook through just ahead of the tail, then putting it in the opposite end and leaving the hook exposed, and then a ½ inch around the tail to finish it off. I find that both those methods of hooking half a pilchard prevent it from spinning too much in the water, because spinning bait seems to put the fish off.
Oh, another one on. This one's a better fish. Oh, this one is a better fish. And of course I haven't got the net ready. Those he took well. Keeper size, I think. Close to. Oh, on. Okay, what are you? 37. Well, as soon as you're the first one on board, I'll keep you. Oh, there he is. He's only 37, but he'll be alright. And if I get a couple of bigger ones, I'll be sorry. But, well, I've got nothing else. I want to go home with something.
If you're keeping a fish to eat, dispatch it humanely by brain spiking it as soon as possible. Then bleed it by cutting its throat or by cutting through the gill rakes. Give it a few minutes to bleed out, then put it on ice.
Oh, Mr. Bates' pilchers are doing the damage. Couple more out before. Might be sorry I didn't bring more of them.
If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I'm not very experienced at slow pitch jigging, or jigging at all. I give it a try from time to time, but I've yet to catch a keeper using this method of fishing. But one thing I do know, and that is not to leave the jig weight on the rod. If you do leave it on the rod, then moving the rod around or the waves causing the boat to pound as you move from one spot to another can result in the jig weight slapping against the rod and damaging it. So I always remove the weight but leave the assist hooks on the solid ring attached to the main line. It could be argued that it's quicker to tie a knot than it is to feed the split ring around to attach the weight, but the key point is not to leave it on your rod where it can do damage. And on the subject of jigging, I did try, but the spot I'd intended to jig was already occupied when I arrived, and I achieved my usual result in an alternate position of 0 fish.
Okay. It took it on the drop. Got the same size as the last one, I think, maybe. A bit smaller. Here we go, I'm back. Yeah, only 30. 30 and a half. Dolphins. Oh, I think there's some food around. Hey, I know you. Seen you around before with a broken fin.
It's often said that you need a big hook and a big bait to catch big fish. I believe that you should always pick your hook size to suit the bait that you're using and pick the bait you're using based on the fish that you're targeting. And with all that said, every now and then you get a real surprise. Now this time the surprise was catching a whiting on an 8-bar-0 hook baited with half a pilchard.
Oh, got a whiting.
But I think the biggest surprise I've ever had was catching a flathead on a 6-bar-0 hook offshore, and it measured just under 3 centimetres. It was tiny.
What are you? Wintry? Yeah, wintry. No size limit, but you're 25 anyway. Another baby. Alright. It's time to go do something else anyway. Here's 23.
And once I ran out of pilchards, I did try the squid and the cuttlefish again, but the fish still weren't interested in eating either of them. So, with no useful bait left and no live bait on the mark I was fishing, or on any of the nearby marks, I decided to do a bit of trolling.
lures off the surface, probably a grinner. Yep, grinner.
When I'd finished trolling the area I had intended, I wasn't that far from Goat Island, so I thought I'd go over there and try for a few squid, despite it being the wrong tide for that area. When Goat Island didn't produce any squid, I headed over to Peel Island to give that a go. Then once again, I thought the tide was wrong to get the squid at Peel, at least where I was looking for them. However, as I say, nothing ventured, nothing gained. In this case, it was nothing gained. I did try a few spots while I was there, but I was conscious of the time and I wanted to collect some live bait to fish Harries when the tide was favourable, so I didn't persevere for very long. Finding some bait balls wasn't very hard, but they were not all that huge and the bait wasn't really in the mood to eat.
It's hard to catch today. Don't get anything else, I'll have him. Normally I'd let them go because I don't like them for bait, but beggars can't be choosers.
For the most part, I was catching them one at a time, and that kept me catching bait for longer than I really wanted.
Well, one at a time's better than none. See if I can get one more out of this lot while we're here. Then I better go and see about doing some fishing.
In the finish, I had to leave for the fishing grounds before I'd caught as much bait as I would have liked, otherwise I would have missed the tide. And once I got to Harries, I was fishing 2 rods. The rod with the spinning reel is a Shimano Raider, 8 to 10 kilo, with a Shimano ST2500 bait runner reel, and that's spooled with 15-pound grappler braid with 15 metres of 20-pound Troll Pro leader. I was using various Troll Pro hooks from 7-bar-0 to 8-bar-0, mostly snelled during the session. Now the reason I used so many hooks on that rod was that I was float lining it back towards the structure, and every time it got smashed, it was taken into the structure and I lost my rig. The other rod was the custom 7 to 12 kilo rod that I made with a Shimano Speedmaster 8 overhead, spooled with 20-pound grappler braid and 5 metres of 20-pound Troll Pro leader. I was using a Paternoster rig on that rod with hooks on 2 branch lines and a 4-ounce sinker and dropping it straight down beside the boat. With the Paternoster rig, I was using either a single 8-bar-0 Troll Pro circle hook or a snell with an 8-bar-0 Troll Pro circle and a 6-bar-0 Troll Pro octopus hook on each branch.
Okay, we're on. Oh, not a bad, oh, nice fish too. Oh, head shakes. Oh no! Took everything. Yeah, it's been into the structure, that has. That's what broke me off. He got me into the structure. Lucky snapper. Whoa, on again. Come on, right. Get into that structure. I got him away from it this time. Woo! Oh, don't go. Oh, don't tell me it's another shark. Hey? There's a dolphin after it, whatever it is. Get out, this is my fish. Oh, big Mac Tuna. Oh, shit. Oh. Oh, he almost got away. I knew you weren't a snapper, there was no head shakes there. Oh. Took me into the structure enough to lose my sinker. Oh. 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 Oh, you swallowed the other one. Oh, I may as well cut that. .7. Oh, got something on here. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he just had a go when he saw it disappearing. Yeah, something had a bite of it as he disappeared. That was what it was. Oh, well, you're a lucky one. Oh, this one. Oh, straight into the structure. I knew I was fishing real close to it. Would have helped if I'd woken up which line it was a bit quicker. Might have been able to slow him down a bit. Oh, need to get rid of all. Yeah. Oh, he did do me into the structure. Oh, all the way up there. Now we're on the good line again. There. Oh, that wasted a bit of line. Oh, 3 or 4 metres, 4 or 5 metres of it. And this is my Mac Tuna that I came home with. They make terrific bait. I'm going to cut some of them up for crab bait. I'm going to take some strips for strip bait because all fish love to eat Mac Tuna. Look at what a streamlined fish they are. They've got a little recess in here and that fin folds back smoothly into that recess. All tuna have it. All the tuna I've seen have it. I assume they all do. But such a streamlined fish. And if you look in there, he's got really small teeth. They're quite raspy, but not all that sharp. There's not a real risk of having your line broken off unless you're fishing very, very light line, in which case those will rasp through it. But I generally fish at least 20-pound leader, so I haven't had one rasp through yet, although I have had a line break for other reasons. Now, of course, I didn't bleed the fish because I was going to use him for bait. And then what I did was I cut behind this fin as far forward into the head as I could and just broke the backbone off, cut through the gullet. That's the bait that caught him. It's still in his gullet. We'll have a look and see what else is there afterwards. And I'll start butchering him up for crab bait and fish bait. Okay, well, there's the rest of the stuff that was in his gullet. There's another part of a fish, another one there. I think that's a different fish. That's pretty much empty now. Oh, there's something down there. His liver, of course. Yeah, anyway, all that stuff makes decent burley. So you can stick that in your burley bucket and chop it up for burley. This belly area makes really good bait. I find it reasonably tough, so it doesn't come off too easy, and it's all full of oils and stuff. So I just cut them off like this, and I'll split them down into strips when I use them. Now for the crab bait, I just cut it off into strips about that wide, just about 1.5 inches, so about 30 centimetres or so. And if you're lucky, you'll come down right on a joint of a vertebrae and you just cut right through it. If you're not, just give it a bit of a twist and it'll break off easy enough at the vertebrae. And look at that. What crab wouldn't love to eat that? Now, this last bit's getting a bit small to cut up for crab steaks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fillet it and use it for strip bait. What you could do is cut off the tail bit and use it for crab bait as is. Maybe put a couple of cuts there down it to let the blood out when you put it in the water. But I'm going to use it for strip baits for fish because they love it.
And just before I finish up, I want to mention why I've been using Troll Pro tackle for quite a while now. Honestly, it does the job just as well as any of the big name brands that I've used in the past, but at a much better price. When you go out like this time and lose multiple hooks on a trip, those savings add up. If you want to check them out for yourself, there's a link to Mr. Bait down in the video description. So I'll leave you with that thought. Until next time, good fishing.